All right, ladies and gents, we are recording today's trade recap. We had no trades for today, so that is pretty unfortunate. Saw the market and I was like, all right, yeah, we're just not really moving with speed. We're not really giving us what we want to see, so there's just no point of trying to force anything. So this is ES right here. ES was super clear, it didn't really move with speed, even though I wanted it to, but I was just looking at it down here, and now we're finally reaching it. We had a 15-minute candle here from news, or not news. Was it news actually? Nah, it wasn't. It was after, a little bit after. It was 9 o'clock. The market just dumped. Not even 9:30 open, but it just dumped at 9 o'clock, and the market was just clearly inside of this range. It wasn't really moving as much, and I was looking at it like right here. Like this is super choppy, super undirectional, and then eventually here also I stopped at 10:30 and I just walked away. It's still range bound, still range bound. We're not really moving as much. We're stuck inside of this 15-minute candle range. We're finally breaking out. I just thought to myself, like today is not one of those days where you would want to be putting on risk. So I instantly just walked away, and I told myself, like a man, I'm not going to force anything today. I'm going to be very picky with my setups and trying to get out of this drawdown for this account. Same thing for MNQ. I drew the range, equilibrium. You can see we stalled around. We went above, we came back down, went above, came back down, went above. Wait, and then we're instantly stalling. I don't like this range high, range low. I was like, all right, this doesn't look good. This does not look good for me to place any risk, on these type of setups. On the 5-minute, again, we had that 5-minute BISI holding. I didn't want to see it get inverse at one point, so then eventually move lower because we had that 15-minute gap. We also had a 30-minute gap. The 1 hour didn't form me yet, so that's kind of another thing. But on the 5-minute, it just looks super clean, super clear. We're sweeping above these highs. I thought to myself, like this is nice, like I want to see the market move lower now. I wouldn't mind it to then eventually target these relative equal lows, but we never got that. We never got that. YM was already above this too, so that's kind of another confluence. We had SMT there at the highs, so I was kind of a little bit more bearish, but today just didn't offer anything that was super clear for me. And again, the account, we're still down near 1500. I want to be super picky with the next setup, and just being super picky and choosing the highest quality setup I can get, getting my hands on. That's it, bro. I'm not going to force no more bad setups. I'm not going to do this and that. I'm going to just be disciplined. I'm going to take good setups, and I'm going to walk away if I hit break even, like a man, and just wait for the next potential setup to form. That's high confluence, and that's basically really it, bro. Like there's not much else to it to being profitable. It's just being consistent, being disciplined, and following your rules, bro. That's all it is, bro. And that's all you have to do to be profitable, guys. I promise you, you will see the results you want to see if you just stick to your rules, be disciplined, and you just follow what you say you have to do. And that's it, But let's go over the higher time from here. Why not, Again, we're stuck inside of a range really on the higher time frame. On the daily, we have this daily buy side imbalance we are respecting. Of course, we are more bullish targeting these highs, but on the 4 hour, it just didn't look really as bullish as I would have wanted it to be. We're sweeping above these highs right here. So this is your candle range high, and to me on the lower time frame, that looked really nice because again, we're sweeping that candle range high, forming an EBP. I thought we're gonna retrace up and then eventually come back down, especially having that 15-minute SIBI, 30-minute SIBI. It just looks clean, but we never really got that. And then eventually we swept this low while NQ didn't. So boom, we had SMT at the lower time frame. So then I was like, oh shit. Like here we also had that 4 hour candle range high, boom. Or it's on a daily actually. We had a daily rate candle range high sweep. Maybe we do form CRT on the daily to then come back down lower. But on the 4 hour, we also had that too, we also had this right here. It's small, miniature. But again, SMT at the lows. I'm like, oh shit, like we have SMT at those lows. We have that 1 hour fair value gap I just drew. But either way, like it. To me, I was just like, damn, this looks both sides. Like I don't know if I want to be putting risk on. I have to be super picky, wait for the extra, the utmost extra confirmation to take these setups, and I just had to wait, And after 10:30, bro, I just went and walked my dog, and now I'm back. It's been an hour, damn near walking my dog, bro. But after that, I was like, yeah, I gotta get out. I gotta not look at these charts, walk away, call it a day. I didn't even have to close the account. I knew instantly it's just not worth it. Not worth the, mental capital to be looking at these charts anymore. And so I just walked away. And YM today was the best of the best. We had that daily buy side imbalance to then eventually target that daily BPR. Targeting the highs up there. You can see that there clearly. Buy side objective was met here. 4 hour time frame. We don't really have much here, honestly, to like give us that reversal pattern. But probably on the 1 hour, yeah, we probably have this sweep right here. It's probably your only really key candidate is this sweep, honestly. 30-minute time frame, we don't have much, honestly, either. It just didn't look clean to me, honestly. This was probably the best scenario for like your best confluence, which was the 15-minute inversion fair value gap. Once we did retrace, formed that 5-minute change in the state with this 5-minute inversion, which was clean. I won't lie, this was probably clean, really clean. I don't know if anybody took this, but yeah, this was clean. Then you also had a 5-minute BISI, which did retrace, and then you probably could have found a 1-minute inversion fair value gap right here to then eventually take that. So this would have been the best setup right there. And then eventually you go and you target, I guess, that BPR high if you want, you know. It's your 3R trade right there, and that's really it, you know. But in realistically, I would probably just target like a 1 to 2. But I didn't take this, you know. I didn't have the confidence to take this because, again, ES was not above these highs. Everything else was above those highs, you can see. I mean, YM was above those highs. Everything was below those highs. You can see these two were clearly below those highs, making lower highs, while this one was clearly making higher highs. I just didn't want to be risking that. You know, I'm not really trying to have a scenario where, you know, like it's a 50-50. You know, like the odds are against me, or like it's a coin flip. I want to have everything that's aligning perfectly and it's super clear 100%. And again, the market is clearly waiting for FOMC next week. Clearly chopping around, not really having good PA. Look at this. Or actually, matter of fact, look at this, and look at this, bro. Monday's PA was the best PA. I won't even lie to you. Monday's PA was clearly the best PA for taking a trade. You know, it clearly went up. This one just went up, came back down. This one just went down and just stalling back up all slowly. It's clearly not good PA this week. And it's clearly waiting for FOMC next week. It's still tradable. You will still see people making money, succeeding, taking good trades here. But for me, I just couldn't find anything that follows my model and my criteria, you know. And so doing that, I have to walk away. And that's pretty much really it for today's trade recap. Let me show you guys, you know, it's done. Boom. Other account has been locked out. So again, risking 1%, getting out of this drawdown is probably my most important, you know, mission right now. And then after that, just taking good trades, bro. I'm not really worried about the payout. I'm not really worried about anything like that anymore. I'm really just going to focus more on the setups I'm taking and just the quality of my setups and just the inputs, things I can control, you know. Like I can't control, you know, how much money I make this month. I can't control that. You know, I can't control if I get a payout this month or not. You know, I can't control certain things like that. Only thing I can control is what setups I take, how disciplined I am, you know, in terms of walking away, taking the setup, following my rules, following my model, you know, certain things like that, showing up every single day and walking away when it's needed, and having good risk management, following the system, being disciplined, is simple stuff like that, and being consistent in terms of that, you know. And again, I know the model is profitable. I know the system is profitable. Past 2 combines, and you know, I've proven it to myself by my data collection and my journal. I know it works. You know, I know it works. It has an edge. Just follow it. You know, the past 3 trades I've taken, you know, or the past 3 losses, those losing days were trades where I wasn't following my model. You know, one trade I did hit break even. That's perfectly fine. Walk away. You walk away in profit. You don't walk away unable to walk away and just take losses. You know, not following your system. It doesn't make sense. You know, that's pretty much really it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.